Hi guys, Brad Hawthorne. What I'm going to do is dissect a lake today, a random lake, because at sports shows it's one of the #1 questions I get. Where would you fish this lake? So I'm going to pick a random lake, blow the map chip out, zoom in, and show you guys exactly where I'd start on a brand new lake. So zoom in here, and I am in basically central western Minnesota. And this is Height of Land Lake. So if I'm going to target walleyes on this body of water here, first I'm going to take a zoomed in look at the whole lake. Okay, so I have my Humminbird set to anything 6 feet and shallower is highlighted in red. So I automatically know that anything red is shallow. So I'm looking at this going, okay, if I'm going to target walleyes, and I don't know if there's a ton of walleyes in this lake or not, but what grabs me right out of the bat from the big zoom out here is all these points. There's points, there's coveys, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and basically a bar in the center. So I'm going to come out here, and I'm just going to take this point here, for instance, and look at this and go, if this lake has walleyes in it, I'm going to use spinners, and I'm going to drag 0.8 to 1 mile an hour, and I'm going to start in here. But what I can't stress enough is when you look at a map and guy says, well, where should I fish on this lake? You should always use your electronics. Just because you're going to a new lake, spots can look good on a map. Turn on your side imaging, take a look at the spot first. It may look good on a map, but it doesn't always mean there's fish there. And that's the biggest mistake I see people doing is this spot looks good, or they're fishing memories and they don't catch fish there. They're just basically banking on that spot looks good and they're gonna catch a ton of fish. So that being said, before I would fish any of these spots, I would side scan them. And because they're shallower, we're looking at 12 to 6 feet on the break there, I would scan all those, go look for fish, but I would definitely, just looking at this lake, be fishing the points, all these points and inside turns, and I'd probably be dragging a jig and shiner or simply back trolling spinners at 0.8 to 1.1 mile an hour, and look on MN Lake Finder and figure out what the majority of the bait is on this lake, if any. If not, you can pretty much figure they're chomping on crappies and bluegills and whatever lake minnows they have in there. So then I would probably go with a crawler or a leech. So that's this lake in particular. So I'm going to zoom out, and I'm just going to go to the one just east of it. See, now this one, even though it's only a few miles away, is just about the same. But this one, I look at it and go, okay, this one has more bars on it than points. You got a bar here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you've also got way more points. So this one may fish the same, but what this lake also has that the previous lake didn't was really tight break lines here. And that is really key in a lot of the fishing we do for spinners and jigs. Is it's also when you position your boat out deep, and if I want to see if there's any fish there, I'll position my boat deep, throw out 60-70 feet on the side scan, and just simply run down those breaks and see if there's any fish on them. This one, basically, again, I do look for spots, I do look for structure points, stuff that looks good, but I don't fish it until I know that there's fish there. All right, for our last lake, let's get down to southern Minnesota. This looks to be like, let's see here, hour and a half out of the Twin Cities. And this is, oh, just my luck, this happens to look like a reservoir. So we're gonna zoom in on this. This is a reservoir. Okay, so knowing what I know, southern Minnesota, having what looks like to be a river or big creek running through it, this guy here is going to warm up quick. It's going to warm up quick because southern Minnesota tends to warm up a lot faster than northern Minnesota, and this has water movement, constant water flow through it. So that means if we go into a heat spell, that's basically going to have a heater running through that lake. So what this lake tells me is that it's probably really, really good early in the season and probably really, really good in late season. I'm talking like right before freeze up, a month before freeze up. So this one, the structure looks like there's a point here that looks pretty good. I would definitely go and try to mark fish around in here. That would be a definite spot. But what really sticks out in my mind here is where it looks like it flows out, and you have all of these flats. So you have a 20-foot flat right in here, you have a 9-foot flat in here, you have a 14-foot flat in here, and what looks to be a 12-foot flat in here with a little piece of structure. I would look at all of these flats. To me, with current coming through and it narrowing, means that there's going to be bait coming through there. Again, with that current and flats and current and a place for fish to really set up on as it narrows down, to set up on that as bait's coming through is really key. So I would spend a lot of time in this general area on these flats here looking for fish. So I hope, again, that helps you guys identify where to catch fish or where to look for fish on your own lake. But the major thing too is you can look at all the maps you want. If there's no fish on your side scan or your down imaging or your 2D sonar, you're not going to catch any.